Welcome to Talk Across America. I'm Doug Miles, and we're here in beautiful Sarasota, Florida. Joining us now on our Book Talk segment, great to welcome a man who has written a book that is going to help us hopefully make some money, or at least keep it anyway. It's called I Will Teach You to Be Rich. No guilt, no excuses, no BS. Just a 6-week program that works. We're joined today by Ramit Sethi, and they joined us by telephone today. Ramit, good to talk with you. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, good to have a chance to chat with you, and I had an opportunity to read through the book. First of all, congratulations. This is the 10th anniversary of the first edition of the book. Is that right?
That's right. It's the second edition. I spent 10 years learning even more about money and updating it and adding 80 new pages of new material, so I'm pumped to have it out to the world.
That's great. You're a relatively young guy anyway, so you were really young when you wrote the first one, so you I guess you've always had kind of an interest in finances anyway, right, growing up?
Yeah, you got to be kind of weird to be interested in personal finance, in your teens. So I think I've always been a weird person, and I think if you're listening to this, look, maybe you're a little weird if you want to learn about personal finance, but I actually think it's been amazing because, I don't wake up and say, yes, I get to think about Roth IRAs today. That's not it. It's that money can lead to a rich life. And I think that a rich life, once you get your money in order and, you have it all automatic, then you get to really do the fun stuff. And that might be the traveling or eating out or love and money. Those are the things that I think are really exciting.
Yeah, I was going to say, and you kind of touched on a little bit there. As a young guy, when you first got into it, my dad was a banker, so he kind of taught us some of the, the rules of what you should do. But I always thought, and I think they used to do this in schools, have classes in at least some kind of money management. I don't know why they don't do it anymore. I know you're kind of filling that need with the book now, but boy, so many people really have no clue, do they, when it comes to simple money management?
Yeah, simple money stuff, and I think you're right. It's not really taught. And even if it were taught at a young age, you're not making money, so you don't really know what to do with it. But once you come out of college and once you get into your 30s, and for a lot of people in their 40s, they realize they don't really understand money. And if you talk to people in their 40s, for example, and you say, what's the number one thing that keeps you up at night? They will always tell you the same thing. It's money. And so then you ask them, what did you do in the last 2 weeks to improve your money knowledge? And they'll just look at you like you're crazy. So we have this thing that we're worried about, we're anxious about, we're nervous, and yet when it comes to actually improving it, it's not really clear where to go. So that's why I wrote I Will Teach You to Be Rich. One book, by the end of it, you know exactly what you need to be doing with your money, and you're spending less than 90 minutes a month on your money. It just works for you.
Yeah, I know you talk a lot about trying to automate as much as possible with your bank accounts, with your investments. Once you get that set up, and then I won't say set and forget it, but at least you can kind of relax a little bit, right? That's the whole point of that.
Exactly. Yeah, I want people to go from something I call hot to cool. When you think about money right now, if I ask people, what do you feel when you think about your money? A lot of times they'll tell you the same words: nervous, guilty, overwhelmed. Those are all hot emotions, right? They're like these really hot, negative emotions. And what I want to do is help you set up the systems so that you go to cool. Cool means you can walk past a store and you can look inside and say, you know what, I think I really like that sweater. I think I'm going to buy it. Or, you know what, I don't like that. It's not for me. Or I know that it doesn't fit within my guilt-free spending this month, so I'm just going to move on. That way you're not using words like guilt and overwhelm and all these negative words. You're just making a conscious decision. And that's when it goes from money being this mystical, magical thing to it's not money, it's just math.
I know so many people are unfortunately caught in these terrible debts from college, and even much more than, when I went to college, you heard some debt amounts, but now it's in multiple hundreds of thousands. I guess people after a while just kind of give up, so I'll never get out of this. Can you get out of that kind of debt?
You definitely can, but you're totally right that most people, they don't even know how much they owe. And why would they? Why would they want to open up a bill where they don't know the number, but they know it's bad?
Yeah.
So I have a lot of compassion for people who are in debt, but I want to say that the problem is not going away. I spoke to a young guy the other day, 29 years old. He has $235,000 of debt, student loan debt. And he had decided that he was going to declare bankruptcy. Well, it turns out you can't declare bankruptcy on those loans. So then he told me that he was probably going to die paying those loans off. And he said, I've done everything. Well, he'd done everything except spend 10 minutes learning how loans work. He'd done everything except the exact thing that mattered. I ran a couple of quick numbers for him. I did it on my phone. It took me less than 60 seconds. And I discovered, with his income, right now he was on track to take 30 years to pay it off. That's a long time. If he added an extra $100 a month, he could cut that down by something like 5 to 10 years. And with his income, if he got a little aggressive, he could pay that thing off in around 10 years. 8 to 10 years is not that long at all. So I think for everyone in debt, if you're in it, it might be tough, but make a plan, and you will know the exact month and year that your debt will be paid off, and that will feel amazing. And
also, you'll give great tips in the book, too, of negotiating, particularly with credit card payments, or at least the interest on it. A lot of times, if you do it right, they'll knock off a lot of that interest payment, right?
That's right. A lot of people have credit card debt, and they kind of just feel stuck, like, okay, I guess I just have to pay this for the next 10 years or however long. And there are lots of ways you can change that. Number one, you can change your payments. Number two, you can just read the words off. I have these word-for-word scripts. They're like magic. And you can call up your banks, you can get late fees waived, you can call up your credit card, and some of the time you can actually get your interest reduced. So on a large balance, that right there can save you thousands of dollars. That's why I want people to read this book, because I want you to take control of your money, not let the banks and credit card companies take control of you.
I guess on the other end of the spectrum, looking for retirement income, and you get a lot of great information in the book there, because most people nowadays have to do it themselves. You can't rely on Social Security, and I think pensions have gone away. I don't know anybody has a pension anymore, so you got to do it yourself nowadays, right?
Same. Yeah, that's right. But I actually kind of welcome that. I said, I have the confidence in myself to learn how money works, and after you go through the book, you too will have the confidence. You'll be more informed than 95% of people when it comes to money. You're really competing against a low bar, but it becomes fun. And money goes from this scary thing to, hey, wait a minute, I actually understand where my money should go. Oh, I know the difference between a 401k and a Roth IRA. And suddenly, it just becomes very logical. It all kind of flows. Okay, so I'm this age, and this is what I want to do. Boom, use these accounts. And it's just a very simple structural flow map where you say, okay, if this is me, boom, follow this plan. And that feels so good, because you start to realize, wow, instead of worrying about these tiny little $3 lattes, I'm actually saving tens of thousands of dollars using these accounts, which is actually worth way more than any tiny thing that I could cut back on.
And there's a momentum to it, too. Once you start doing it, it kind of flows from there, and then you look forward to it. At least I've found that way. I mean, that's the same thing with money management, right?
That's exactly right. Well, see, I can tell just by the way you're talking, you're a very knowledgeable guy when it comes to money. There is a momentum to it, and it's just like with anything else. It could be going for a 5-10 minute walk every day. I once spoke to a woman, and she said, I always tell myself I want to go for a run 3 times a week, but I never do it. And I said, why don't you just run once a week? And she laughed. She said, once a week? What does that do? That doesn't do anything. So she would rather dream about running 3 times a week than actually run once a week. And many of us would dream about being a millionaire instead of save $20 automatically, which takes literally zero time.
Great tips in the book. A lot of information. Very entertaining book as well. It's called I Will Teach You to Be Rich, a 6-week program that works. We were talking with Ramit Sethi today. Ramit, give out your website once again. I know people like to follow you on social media, but where can they go?
You can go to iwillteachyoutoberich.com. I've got a newsletter and a website, and you can find me on social media. I am at Ramit, R-A-M-I-T.
Great. Ramit, pleasure talking to you. Hopefully we can do it again. Thanks for joining us today.
I'd love it. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us today on Talk Across America. Please visit our website at dougmilesmedia.com for more great interviews and content. And if you're interested in any of the books we talk about on the program, please click the Amazon link on our website. It helps support the podcast. Thanks for listening. We'll see you again real soon here from beautiful Sarasota, Florida.
I'm Stan Brock. 30 years ago, I formed Remote Area Medical to help people overseas. But then we found generations of families in America isolated by poverty from the health care they need. Together, we can take dental, vision, and medical help to 1 million adults and their kids, right here at home in the United States of America.